All right. I'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then the next item of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting June 13th. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the minutes on June 13th.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the meetings of the board meeting of June 13th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business are the general fund vouchers, 79,624 through 79,664, voided 79,625, and wire transfers 2022-0632 through 2022-0684.
I move to approve with the exception it's 79,623, not 79,624.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the general fund vouchers as read with the correction. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is the public comments on agenda items. I don't see that we have any of those, so the next item of business would be our first item of new business, update the high school roof project.
Okay, so we have Brian Thompson here, and he just gave a couple of us a tour up on the roof, but he's going to give us just kind of a quick update on the status of the project and how it's going.
You bet. So we are, to date, I looked this morning, as of our last tear-off day, we're about 80% complete. The areas that are 100% complete with all the waterproofing, sheet metal is already in place, being installed right now. So sheet metal crews on site, which is good, because a lot of times they can lag behind away sometimes. But they're here, which is awesome. They're here on site. I did bring with me just, we have had some wet. I was just looking through all the emails. So every time we find a wet installation, we document it. We take pictures of it. We bring it to the school's attention. You've seen this, right? Yes, so here was the first page. That was a typical area of wet insulation after we opened up the membrane area that had been taken on water leaking pretty bad, right? Here is after we removed the wet. There was the damage it had already started to do it just started to rust the surface coating. We do a test on the deck. It wasn't into the structure. It was just the top layer coating, but the process was underway, right? So then we are putting the new base layers to refill it, and then there's the top layer before we put the new roof on. So just give you an idea, that was a typical. I think we've had 4 total change orders. I think it's 3 or 4. I have them all itemized. We are well under our allowance. We had a contractual allowance number. I'd have to look that up to tell you exactly what that was. 30, I think. Was it $30,000?
That's what I thought. Tom told me too, 30.
About 30 grand, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Are they?
Have you been down?
So it's about 30, yeah, I think that's about right.
There's like 6 pieces.
So we are going to be we believe we're going to be well below, as long as we don't run into any more. It's been a lot of the low-lying areas between the roof drains that we actually built up with new tapered insulation and crickets to move the water to the drains. Those areas where the water naturally kind of congregated, that's where we were finding this kind of stuff, okay? So not super shocking, that's why we built the allowance in that we did. We think, knock on something fake, we're gonna be well under for you guys, right? So you'll have a big credit there. One item that we did bring up to the board was we did submit a change order request for your consideration. If you remember, on the east side of the building, there was a section of brick wall where the brick inserts for the mortar insert was too low. It's in the base contract. That brick wall is being covered up with metal wall panels. After we've kind of been on site and looked at so it's about halfway, from north working to the south, the brick goes halfway and then it turns to stucco. And that stucco wall, especially areas underneath the 2 louver intakes, the louver intakes were not ever installed correctly. And there's definitely moisture that's going into the louvers and it can't weep out, so it's damaged the EFIS walls there. So we submitted a change order for everyone's request to continue the wall panels from our stopping point to the south where it needs it. So that's for you to consider. Wouldn't have to do it. I highly recommend you do it. I think I kind of pointed out on the roof that it's not a matter of if you'll do it, it's just a matter of how long you'll let it get, how bad it gets for you before you do it. So You've got the roofing sheet metal contractors here. They're putting on the wall panels. You're probably not going to get it done cheaper than what you are by them already being on site. So I think that was about an 19 and change.
Yeah, it was
order.
just under $20,000.
Just under $20,000 to be considered. So,
And that fits underneath our contingency of 30, so we would, so I was
yeah, so
recommending to do it.
yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't if you had the money. So our pile is definitely shrinking out back in case you haven't noticed. We're about done. We're going to start our next day of tear off is the gym floor. There's above the gym floor, the gym.
Don't hurt the.
Yeah, we just did that.
I think you get gym people coming to seal coat the gym floor, do something to it. I think coming very soon. I think.
The 25th, I think, that
Yeah,
week.
we will be well out of here. In fact, they'll be well off the gym. We anticipate. I just went over the schedule with the foreman. It's all dictated by rain, right? I mean,
Which
like
we're getting none, so.
Well, believe it or not, like
The storms
today,
around, yeah,
today we
take it
couldn't
off.
tear off today. It was there were scattered showers around, and so that's the worst day for him when he can't.
I was in Rice Lake and it flooded.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but we think about 2 solid weeks to tear off, and the roof will be done, and then it'll just be sheet metal. That's what will be left, and then should be maybe 2 to 3 weeks after that. So, gosh, if things continue like they have been, we will be mid-August. We should be doing punch lists and getting out of your hair. Done.
We'd like you to get done quickly so it can rain around here again.
Kind of seems like I brought that, didn't I? Sorry. Yeah.
So that rust, did that get repainted then, or what did you?
No, it was just surface rust from continuing moisture. Because what happened was the wet insulation sat on the paint coating that's on the top of the deck. If you just get rid of the wet insulation, it'll stop. So it wasn't deep enough to penetrate the actual structure of the decking at all. So it's fine. It won't spread. If that's your question or concern, it's not going to go anywhere now. If you let the wet sit there, oh yeah, probably another 3, 4, 5 years, it'd start to pit it. Oftentimes when we get schools where, and ironically it's always over gyms where we get that, where we open up the roof and tear the roof off and we're in the gym looking up going, oh my gosh, look at it. And it's all Swiss cheese. So, but good news you caught it early enough. It wasn't structural by any stretch. Yeah. So all in all, from our perspective, it's gone very well. I can't speak for you. I'm not going to wish things on you, but I hope it's gone okay. As far as especially having us on campus when kids were in school, that was a little dancing, but I think we did an okay job keeping everybody out of everybody's way.
Yeah.
So I haven't been hung yet anyway or shot. So yeah.
Real good?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Anything else? Let me know what you want to do on the change order. I can send you the itemized list of the installation so you know exactly where you are to date.
Mhm.
You even have a little time, we could wait. We could get even through the gym, not a problem, right? Then you
Okay.
can decide.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Do we need a vote on
When I
it?
get done, when we're done, I'll bring in final warranty documents too. Bring it all.
Matt, you ask your Chris
Do we
question.
need to vote on it?
On what?
The extra,
Within the
Change
30.
order? No.
It's
Why don't
with-
you just-
it's within the original budget.
I would
think, so.
wait until you get the final itemized wet. I'd hate to find a boatload of wet up on the gym and then find out you don't have as much as you think you have. I'd wait. I'd just wait till we're done and decent. Then you know for sure.
Yeah, we don't, Chris has the levity to make those
If
decisions.
it fits within the scope of what we originally, okay, all right.
I would say anyway, yeah. Brian, thank you for
Thank you.
coming in.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Have a nice night,
Thank you,
everyone.
you too.
Any discussion on the roof project before we move on? Now that Brian's out of the room? Oh.
If you need me, I'll leave.
All right, next item of business is the update and approval of the high school office repair of water damage.
Yeah, so, tell me, Mr. Melberg, when, was it mid-May, late May, when we discovered the water
May.
damage? Early May? Okay, I was thinking.
Maybe late April.
Okay, I was thinking it was mid-May. So there was a pipe in between 2 walls. There's a staff bathroom and there's a sick room bathroom adjacent to the office, and in between there's a big pipe coming out and that goes off to both, and there was a very slow leak in there that we assume has been leaking or just some tiny little bit, moisture coming out for years, and eventually it's gotten to the point where it's leaking enough where it's dripping on the floor, and then it was creeping on the floor, and then it crept into floor surfaces and up walls. So the three walls around it all had damage and mold and stuff like that. So anyway, it was an insurance claim. So Tom Osmondrud called the insurance company, or Mr. Ernst did back in May. So we shut down those bathrooms and fill me for chime in here if I'm missing anything. But as far as those bathrooms have been shut off since early May. So insurance claim. So we had plumbing work to do, we had wall repair work to do, and we had flooring work to do. So I did throw in, just so you can see the cost, if you go back into your packet, past the expense reports and everything there. Just for your information, the first two sheets, there's one from the plumber, which is to repair the actual leak itself. You can see that was about $1,900. That does include them coming back and doing final reinstallation of all the toilets and sinks and making sure everything is back up to par. And then there's the estimate for the wall repair, which is the next page there from Matson's, and that's tearing out. Well, actually, we did most of the tear out. Yeah, we did most of the tear out, making sure everything inside of there was okay. There was a little bit of surface rust on the metal studs inside there, so mitigating that. And then they're coming in, so they reinstalling, putting in new insulation, putting in new drywall, and then tile inside of those bathrooms. So we had to tear out the tile and they have to retile. We were able to just do about 5 tiles up the wall on 2 different walls in both bathrooms. So they will reinstall that. So that is insurance work. And then then there's also some floor work. So the water crept along the floor a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how far in. That's how we discovered it, is one of the secretaries one day felt, I don't know if she had her shoe off or something, and picked her bag up, and
her bag was soaked.
Yeah, it was damp, and realized, well, why is the floor wet? And started digging, and that's what we found, or that's what they found, I should say. So we're still, with the insurance company, isn't totally settled yet about how much of the flooring they will, pay for to replace that. So the carpeting in the outer office area itself, needs to be replaced. So along with that, it's been a goal in the principal's office, and Mr. Osmond have talked about replacing some flooring in that area anyway. So when people come in from the hallway, there's that carpeted area and that pedestal there, that countertop area. So the idea, the long term, was to move that countertop to the back, kind of open that entry area up, put down hard surface there instead of carpet. Just gets all wet and everything. Replace that, and then redo the carpeting in where the secretaries sit and in the principal's office. And then again, a long-term goal is also in the back 2 rooms behind, so that where the workroom is, where the copy machine and the mailroom is, to put tile in there instead of carpet, and tile in the teacher's lounge instead of carpet. A lot of spilling goes on, people are eating in there, coffee being made, stuff like that. So that was the long-term goal. So anyway, with the floor being torn up, we wanted to pursue doing the rest of the flooring here at the same time. So Tom got flooring bids from 3 different people. So you can see the first 3 pages here are from 3 different flooring companies. Carpets Plus, you can see the figure on the bottom there, and then Stone Creek, and then Cascade. And so looking at those 3, those are all apples to apples quotes as far as the work to be done. So we moved ahead with having Carpets Plus do it, based on the price and based on just our experience with them and in the past. So then they had one of their people come up here to do final details, and the tile that was originally quoted by all 3, these are apples to apples estimates here. When we started looking at the actual tile we needed to use based on durability and availability and color that matched and everything like that, the price went up. So, and then also we did say that the original quote from all 3 didn't have the sick room included. Well, it flows right into there, so we said, well, we need to include the sick room. That's tile right now. So when they came back with the actual cost, the number you can see on that 4th page jumps up to $13,800. So quite a pretty significant jump. So just wanted to bring that to you. So part of that will be, mitigated by the insurance claim. Some of it will be, but some of it will still be elective in that we're choosing to do that. I would recommend that we do it. That's talking to Tom, he would really appreciate having hard surface in that outer part of the office where people come in, and especially in the back area where the copy room and where the lounge are. So, some of this is elective, but it seems like there's no better time to do it when we've already got everything torn apart and we're already going to be doing flooring in there. So, I guess that would be my recommendation, but I'm asking for your approval because the cost did go up above, $10,000 total. Again, some of that will be offset by insurance.
What the insurance adjuster originally said is that they would tear all the carpet, or pull the carpet out of the office, spray something on the concrete to make sure that it didn't get moldy, and lay the carpet back down. So whatever the cost of that would be, I assume is what they would put towards the new flooring.
And we're still talking to the insurance company about what that final process is going to be. So I should say Tom is.
Well, should we make it nice for the employees, or should we make them walk on concrete? No.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve
What are you
the.
approving?
So the additional expense of doing the elective
Okay.
part of the flooring that we don't technically have to do.
Okay.
High school repair and water
Not
damage.
sure what we're doing here.
All in
Yeah.
favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. All right, then the next item of business are our resignations and retirements.
Yeah, so we have 4 different resignations, and I can share. So one of them is, do you want me to do it, Greg, or do you want to
Read them.
Well, do you want me to just share who they are, or
Go ahead and you can go ahead.
Yeah, if you want to. So yeah, one of them is Nate Cunningham, junior senior high math teacher, and he is resigning to take a position in a neighboring district. And then the other one is Brian Erdrich, junior senior high English language arts teacher, who is resigning and potentially going to pursue a different career outside of teaching. Casey Keller, junior senior high science. And his is a retirement technically. He is of the age where he can do that. And his spouse accepted a new position a ways away, and so they're making the decision to relocate up there. So unfortunately for us, he's decided to retire. So. And then the last one there is Devin Hoyt, who was the assistant wrestling coach this year for the high school team, and he's stepping away from that position. He just shared that he's got some young kids and wants to be a little bit more involved with helping the youth and with his own.
Sounds like- Did all the coaches for wrestling resign this year?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe
Yeah.
I've known.
One of them was, so Mr. Wood, if you recall, Blaze Wood, he took a teaching position. He finished his student teaching and he took a teaching position elsewhere, so that's why he's stepping away. He wanted to continue, but he took a teaching position elsewhere.
Retirement.
Yeah, and then Mr. Keller, he was the junior high coach, so that,
There's nothing goofy going on there.
Yeah.
either. Okay.
So I don't know, if you want to read the
Where did Nathan Cunningham go to?
Amory School District.
Amory District, okay.
Yep.
All right, I'll read the letters here quickly and then we can move on. So, Mr. Melberg, please accept this letter as my notice of resignation from Clear Lake School District. It's been a pleasure working with you, the students, the staff, and the community of Clear Lake over the past 8 years. My resignation was not a decision I came to lightly and is not the outcome I had hoped for when I initially asked the district to reevaluate the decrease in years of service that were honored for me as a result of the referendum. Unfortunately, the failure of the district to consider this adjustment prior to me receiving a job offer from another district is the reason I decided to leave Clear Lake School District. I'm glad to know that the discrepancy sounds like it be corrected for the other teachers this has affected. Nathan Cunningham. The next one is Brian Edrick. I am sorry to inform you that I've decided not to return to teaching this coming school year, which would begin August 29th, 2022. I will be available for anything you might need up until that point, and will begin cleaning out the classroom promptly. The Clear Lake is a wonderful place to teach, and you have been an even more wonderful boss, but after much deliberation and my thoughts this month, I've decided to return to editing and technical writing this fall. While I only have temporary freelance writing lined up currently. I want to give you enough time to fill the role, and I am confident that I will be able to find full-time employment by this fall due to being enrolled in technical writing certification and master's courses. If the school district is ever in need of a writer or editor, please do not hesitate to call. I apologize for this news as June closes. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Brian Edrick. The next one is Casey Keller. Dear Mr. Peterson, it's this Clear Lake School District Board members, please accept my resignation from my position as a science teacher at Clear Lake School District as of June 6, 2022. Due to a major change in our family, many opportunities have opened for us, and I'm able to start transitioning into retirement. I am thankful to have spent the last 10 years with the incredible staff, supportive administration and board, and inspiring students that add to Clear Lake Junior Senior High School. I wish the faculty, staff, administration, school board members, the students, the school district, and the community of Clear Lake all the best. If I can be of any assistance to you during this time of transition, please let me know. May God bless all of you. Sincerely, Casey Keller. And then the last one is Devin Hoyt. Good evening. Due to work and personal reasons, I've decided to resign my position as the assistant wrestling coach. Kind regards, Devin Hoyt. So I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resignations, retirements.
Second?
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the resignations and retirement. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Now the next item of business is our approval of hires.
Okay, so listed in the notes page, so we have 3 hires we're very pleased to add. So one of them is Jennifer Mickelson as our new transportation assistant / medical aid / elementary secretary. So Jennifer was hired last year, about a year ago, as a paraprofessional in the elementary school, and she applied for this position and was the choice. So Jennifer for that, and then as we know, we've had high school math openings, and we're pleased to add Jason Sargent as a high school math teacher, returning to us from being away in another district for a short time. So Mr. Sargent, and then we also have another returning staff member. So Mr. Kent Hughes who retired a year ago, he is going to help us out part-time with some junior high English language arts. He's able to do that and fit that in with his retirement. So Mr. Hughes.
So the athletic director position still?
So, and I should have mentioned that. So yeah, Mr. Sargent, I didn't mention that, sorry. Thank you for reminding. He has also agreed to accept our athletic director position as well, so yes.
I move to approve the new hires.
Second?
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve our new hires. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes.
What's open yet?
Did you just send us an email?
We have, yeah, so we have a number of things. Let me get my notes here to keep track. So
Is there a way we can get updated on that?
I can send you an email every week if, yeah. I would say that we have never had this many, changes, and
Yeah.
it's not, certainly, this is not typical, yeah. So,
I've got math, science, and ELA.
but yeah, we've got some elementary para positions. These are all the same what I emailed the other day. Elementary para positions. We've got high school English language arts. We've got junior senior high science, junior senior high math, part-time likely. Wrestling head coach, wrestling assistant coaches. Again, we'll probably get the first one hired first. We have had the community ed position posted for a number of months. And have not filled that yet. And of course, we're always looking for adding, bus driver subs and substitute teachers, substitute paras. So,
Yeah. Community ed, is that a full-time or half-time? Or?
no, it's less than half-time. It's a position that has been over the years. It's been different. I honestly, going back in the older history, I don't totally know how it was compensated, but it's never been a full-time position. But most recently, it was more of an hourly position. It's kind of an as-needed position, so it's like when there's a project to do or when there's an activity that they're coordinating. So there might be a period of weeks or so where there's a lot of activity and they're doing a lot, and then there might be a period of weeks or a month or a downtime where they really don't do much at all.
What
So,
do they coordinate or not coordinate?
well, some examples would be
Summer swimming lessons?
summer swimming lessons, when we have hunter safety, which hasn't been offered for a few years due to the people that offered haven't been able to come into schools with COVID. ATV safety. We've done bike safety in the past. Go back 30 years in the 90s, and there was some, there were often classes offered for adult education and, maybe coming in and learning how to use technology. So those are all potential things that.
Piano lessons.
Piano lessons is run through community ed. Thank you. Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
Sports ever get run through that, like the U12 type softball, baseball, or anything like that, or?
It hasn't been. They've been kind of on their own. It's been kind of coordinated by parents and community members, mostly parents, but also kind of coordinated by the usually the high school head coach takes an interest and kind of helps oversee that. But that some districts do have their community, part of it more of a community ed involvement. Going back to when Heidi Paulson used to do it for many years and retired a number of years ago, but she also the community theater programs that we do, that's also part of community education as well. So it's kind of a position that's pretty amorphous and has kind of evolved and changed over the years. So it's something that I think we can look
that's
at.
something, if you were to find somebody for it, like they would bring ideas to the board, or how do you grow that?
I think that's a good discussion for us to have, is like, what's the vision for that position? What's the vision for that program? Because I think that's what it's kind of suffered from over the recent history, is there's, not quite sure what the vision for it is. And then also, when we've had, the position open, we've been fortunate to have some people fill it, and then we've also had some times where we haven't really had much interest in people to run it. So that's a good project going forward.
I remember the 90s back, with me too, just, in a different district, but, I think there's a huge piece that you could gain from that in the summer, and for kids in the summer, and just.
Well, and not just for kids, it can be adults.
It could be for
too.
parenting,
Yeah.
it could be for.
Working classes,
Yeah.
this kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, there's potential for that, for us to look at that.
Okay. Then the next item of business we'll move on to is the approval of the 22-23 academic standards.
Yeah, so this is a yearly requirement that we, in the month of July, that we state what our academic standards are that we use, and the board approves that. So we, again, will continue to use the Wisconsin state academic standards that are part of that are posted on the DPI webpage. That is what we have used, and that's what we continue to use. So we just need that formally approved.
I'll entertain a motion then.
I move to approve the 2022-23 academic standards as a Wisconsin state standard.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the academic standards. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next time business is our yearly review of the 21-22 seclusion and restraints.
And again, there's a page in your packet. Again, this is an annual requirement, started about 2012. If we have any situations where staff has to use a formal seclusion or a restraint, that's defined by the training that we have to have trained staff. Anyway, so as you can see on the sheet, there was one restraint performed this year in November. And we have to note the demographic characteristics of the situation, and so there it is. So that is just we had one situation.
All right. I will entertain I guess I won't entertain a motion.
I guess we just have to review it. Yeah.
So then the next item of business is the approval of the 22-23 food service prices, student fees, and athletic event prices.
Okay. Again, that's the next page in the packet. And I'm sorry this got run in black and white, saving some money on the color printing. But anyway, the only change is for looking at the meal prices first. So the adult price this past year was $4.08. We're changing it to $4.10, 2 cents for convenience to be able to make change and not have pennies.
That was not a good idea.
So that is that, and then inflation, and then. And if you recall, we had to bump the adult prices up a fair amount last year. We were required to do that by the federal guidelines. So the student prices are not changing from what they were. And what came out last week or 2 weeks ago is that the free meals for all students is going away. But bringing back free and reduced, like as we've done in the past with the application, I believe there's an expansion of the the eligibility for free and reduced has been expanded. But no increase. And then the one increase too is the extra milk. If people want to purchase a la carte milk or extra milk beyond what's provided in their lunch, it moves from 35 cents to 40 cents per carton. So, and that's just covers our costs. So
federal requirements, you said on the adults, is it federally required that teachers pay for their meals? From what I understand, some don't have to pay and some do, and so we've talked about in the past that, some get paid for going back and forth to.
Some districts don't pay for, or some, like, I believe, what's it, I think don't quote me on
Don't
it,
say names.
but I think maybe the substitutes, or there's certain.
don't
have to pay,
we have,
some do.
as a district 2 years ago, as in, what's that?
Maybe even 3.
Maybe 3. We as a district decided to include that in the substitute compensation due to, as an incentive to try to compensate our subs more. So we said, we adjusted pay, and then we said we will also provide a free lunch to substitutes. So that was part of the compensation thing that we did. So.
Because we've talked about, with transportation, even if we're going to be fair, it's fair. But I don't, it's just a thought that I had on that.
I think it's a good way to get the subs, and plus sometimes we're calling subs really late to come in late, and they won't have time to figure out meals. And if they're from a different town, I just think it's a nice thing to do for them coming in.
I was more or less thinking it the opposite way, offering teachers free lunch.
I mean, that might get expensive.
No, I don't know. I think I'm okay with the way it is now. I mean, we got to charge for the lunch. We got to pay for the lunches, so we might as well charge. We have to charge for them. But if we had decided back then to incentivize them, I remember we were having problems finding people, so we were throwing things at them that would not be that much of a cost to us, but might,
Okay.
So I think that we should leave that alone. But one of the questions I have for this, and this might not be the time, Chris, is the menu. Not to complain about the menu, but are we getting any fat in the milk yet? Or are we still on non-fat milk?
No, they can do 1%, 2%, or skim.
Oh, we're up to 2% now.
I think so. That's what I
don't
usually.
think so.
I think it's
1.
Is it 1? Whatever. I don't know. I grab that. Whatever it is, it's 1. Yeah, it's 1%.
not changed, Greg, because I was looking at that.
So anyway, I think there is levity to change it. Somebody's just got to do the work to do so. So I was just wondering if maybe we could.
That's a penny question. That's a good question.
Put some whole milk back.
I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can.
I don't think we've ever had whole milk in it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Way back when.
You
I
will
think
stand
it's been
corrected.
And look what it's done for our district.
I think what Lori's saying, in no one's recent memory, we had. There we go. You have to be of a certain age.
I remember whole milk.
I feel discriminated against.
Anyway,
That's a penny question.
I think let's
I think
maybe
we've talked
maybe
about
we could
it
ask Penny to
before.
come in.
Yeah, I
and
don't.
talk
Yeah.
about it.
Another question I'd
I
have
think
on
she
that.
did though.
I think she did.
I think
Your hands are tied.
Yeah.
I
While
think
we're on it
When
too,
Mr. Obama had a lot.
That was back in Obama
Things have kinda
days.
loosened up, I think, little bit because of now the supply issues and whatnot, but I don't know that for sure.
It's still a
would be
limit
the
though, and
expert to
overall, I
ask that.
think.
Greg still wants Penny to come in and do presentation.
I do know that a lot of the surrounding districts too, they recycle packaged foods. I don't know why we don't do something like that. I don't understand that. We do get a lot of extra food, and a lot of kids throw away prepackaged foods. A lot of these other school districts are finding ways to sanitize the outside of them and reuse them.
Well, if we could, you guys mind if we invite
Yep.
Penny in to do our
Make that a future
bi-yearly
agenda.
thing?
Sure. Okay.
It'd be nice if it was
Pose some
August
questions to
before
her.
school starts instead of when school starts.
Put her on the hot
Poor
seat.
Penny.
Because she's pretty,
Yeah.
Well, actually, August is probably when she's,
ordering. all
actually,
food,
after,
figuring
once
it
school
out.
starts, things settle down for her,
Okay.
probably, honestly. Yeah.
When is convenient?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
when-
Okay, sounds good. As far, yeah, there's another page there too, just with a little bit of a, again, this also includes not only the meal prices, but prices for athletic events and registration and stuff like that. And those prices have not changed, maybe even since Greg and Skip and I were in school. I think it's been a long time since those.
They should not
changed
let
since
bugs in there.
milk.
I wanted them all again.
I'm pretty sure that registration fee has been $10 for a long time.
Have we gained anything from COVID too? Any like grants or anything like that for that account or?
Are you talking about meal service?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have a positive balance, it seems like quite a bit, so I just curious.
Yeah, we
Yep.
always have a
Some of
positive
that
balance
comes
in
from-
that.
Mhm.
Is that, okay.
Yeah.
And in fact, the way that we price it, correct me if I'm wrong, is we always end up having a positive balance in that, and that's due because the federal government makes us charge what we charge, right?
That's part of it, and
Yeah.
it wasn't always like that. When I first came in here, we always had to put money from Fund 10 into Fund 50 to make it zero. That's what's required by the federal government. It has to have a zero fund balance at least. So it hasn't always been that way. So Penny's done a lot of work to make sure that that happens. And then, yes, this last couple of years, because of the free lunches, we probably got more money because
Mhm.
of that, because more kids eat.
Sure.
Yeah, and we get reimbursed for all
And
of
we get
them.
reimbursed
Yeah,
for all of them.
and that's what I was gonna say too. Is I think it's a big credit to Penny. She really does an excellent job of managing things.
There's no expiration on that, right?
The money,
Having extra money in that account.
Yes, there
is
is.
there?
They're only allowed to have 3 months of expenses in that account over the fund, over zero.
Can't
So
get too big.
There'll be something to discuss coming up that,
Yeah, I know
Take
we
care
got
of
that
that
coming
money.
up, but yeah.
yeah, they can only have 3 months worth of expenses in that account.
Yeah, can't get too large.
So having a large balance is not.
Not necessarily is not good.
We want it big, but not too big. We want to have a balance, but not too big.
I would also say on the adult event passes, can we just make it adult instead versus couples versus singles? I've had some single parents say, why am I paying more than a married couple? So could we just make it adults $20 or $28 and just don't worry about couples versus single?
That is a good point. I mean,
Just do,
a couple shouldn't be that big of a discount.
It's not, it's service-wise, we're not doing anything different between,
Just do an
just
adult.
make an adult price.
what about an adult season price for $25?
How about a couple's price of 56?
You could do
Make it-
that
You
also.
could do that.
Make them make change again now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just leave it at 28 and, yeah.
Just choose one of them. I mean, either
Get
we
rid of the
split
couples.
the couple, or we take the single, or make them both
Could go
25.
25 and 50, or just say 25
Just
straight for
one
an
adult. So
adult.
if you want two adults, pay 50 then, or whatever.
How about family for 50?
Well, the kids already are paying their prices.
Yeah, the kids
so-
basically are.
Yeah, just do an adult.
Do we need money in that? Do we need to make money, or do we go the other way?
It doesn't really, yeah, it's not a great thing for us. Yeah, we don't need to make a lot of money out of it.
So let's
So
just
just
go.
leave it at adult 20 then, just split the couple?
Yeah, should we do that? 28 down to 20?
What do you want to
Or
do?
25, just to.
25 and 50?
We look to our bookkeeper for guidance.
It's really up to you guys. If you want to do 25 apiece, are the couples going to be mad if it's $50?
No.
Are the couples gonna remember what they paid last year?
We might,
Yes, I
I'm sure
wouldn't.
there will be several that will remember, yes.
Well, and I think anyone who attends games, I mean, I can think of my parents who, it's still the cheapest entertainment in town to
Yeah.
to be able to come to all those games. So
I say 25.
25.
$25.50.
So we're getting rid of the couples pass.
It's just an adult
And we're-
season pass.
We're
now.
doing an adult
no more couples. Okay.
season.
So that would mean a student, and a high school student would be for a season pass?
They still pay their student fee.
They're covered. They pay $10, which
Oh, that's
covers
right, yeah.
a number of things, and then they get a student pass that goes with that. Yep.
So if I could
The
just
elementary students that have to get.
interject and add to this conversation, I had students in the Amory district over the last couple of years, and you would just be amazed at what you pay per sport to have kids in. So this,
To participate.
just to be in the sport, it's just ridiculous. So anyway, we're pretty fortunate to be in a position where we can do this, offer this to our students and to our families, so.
Yeah.
I will entertain, oh, sorry, Chris.
No, sorry. I was just saying, yeah, certainly we want to encourage people to be there.
I move to approve the 22-23 food service prices, student fee prices, and the athletic event prices with the change to adult season single pass.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the 22-23 food service prices, student fees, and athletic event prices with the changes that Nettie mentioned. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Next item of business is approval of homeschool student request to participate in school athletics.
Okay. And so, again, in the notes, superintendent notes, had a request from a family, and these students have participated in sports before. They're going to continue to homeschool, but we have a 7th, 9th, and 10th grader, and we just need formal approval. And Mr. Sargent, now as athletic director, will follow up to ensure there's a form I believe they need to fill out and verify some things. But we believe we do need approval to allow homeschool students to, but we do need to approve it.
I move to approve the homeschool student requests to participate in school athletics.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the homeschool student request to participate in school athletics. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Chris, should we approach that homeschool mother and ask her if maybe she'd want to take a position here in Clear Lake, and then she'd get her homeschooling and in one shot?
Teach some other kids too?
Yeah,
That's an idea.
that is an
We're
idea.
definitely trying to be as creative as we can be to fill our positions.
All right, next item of business, consideration and approval of dishwasher purchase for the high school kitchen.
Okay, so again, in your packet, Penny Kobernick, our food service director, sought bids, or quotes I should say, and there are 3 different, you can see her email, and she and I met last week on Thursday, but her recommendation, but if we go through, there are 3 different quotes, all for the same machine. The machine is called a Hobart High Temp Conveyor Dishwasher. And if anyone's interested, I do have the specs for the machine here. If anyone wants to look at it now or after the meeting, these are the actual specs that she asked them to bid on. So she got 3 different bids from Trimark, from Bolter, and from Rapids. And her recommendation is to go with the Trimark quote. Yeah, you have to flip it to the, sorry, that's a back-to-back page. So you flip to the back side, and I've got a little asterisk there. It's $44,068.38 is the Trimark quote, which I believe was the lowest. And Penny also felt that we've done business with them before and had a positive experience, and so that would be her recommendation. I had notes when I talked with her. The current dishwasher is the original. Again, she's had good experience working with the Trimark. But the current one's 25 years old. Not only will it, is it kind of getting on its last legs, but the new one will certainly be more efficient. So we'll ultimately save money on electricity and water, and actually save money and be better with using fewer chemicals. The newer ones use fewer chemicals. And asked her about installation, and they said they could have it installed by August 23rd when we have the 7th grade orientation, and they would also come and train the staff on using it. So her recommendation is to go with the Trimark quote for the Hobart.
I move to approve the new dishwasher purchase to Trimark people.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the dishwasher purchase. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
And I'm sorry, I forgot to circle back to that fund balance that we have in the food service account. We'll pay for that. So it's a good way to spend some of that now.
Now motion passes. Next item of business is review of the 2022 summer school.
Okay, again, there's a handout in there, just a summary of the attendance. We did have our number of students participating go up just a little bit this year, which was good. Which was good, especially considering we actually have a smaller student population at the elementary. Mrs. Weiss was actually going to go back and do some historical calculations of total student body versus, and just kind of do a percentage. She just didn't quite get to that yet, which is fine. It's not something we've done before, but we want to do that going forward. So we did have the numbers go up a little bit. All in all, just an excellent summer school session again. Give a ton of credit to Mrs. Weiss for much of the coordination that she does, and a ton of credit to the staff that was there. Did a great job. We did the incentive again this year with the compensation, and that was very much appreciated. And I think that's made a big difference the last few years of having more teachers being interested in doing summer school. There's on the back side, I just have the schedule of the classes that were offered, and we do have some remedial classes, but also just a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Fun classes. Not fun wasn't the word I was looking for, but enrichment. Thank you, enrichment classes. I have a little mental block there, but a ton of enrichment classes, and learning in a different way. So, any questions?
During Clear Lake Days, I got the opportunity to bump into several of those teachers, and just one of the feedback was building in a break. It was a very long day for a lot of them, they said, and just really tough to get through that whole day without having a break. And somehow, there could be something built in there, maybe a recess, specific recess time or something.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of them were kind of, I don't know if I'll do it next year, is what I heard a little bit of. And so I think that was a huge deal, was just not being able to get a break and a long day.
We did a survey last year, and Patty gave them a survey again this year, which I haven't seen the results yet because we just got finished. But we did a survey because we did this model last year, and we did do a survey because we were wondering, what people thought, because we used to do 3 periods in the day, and kids would shift from class to class to class, and they had those 3 classes a day throughout the whole 3 weeks. And a year ago we switched to having 1 class for a week, class number 2 for a second week, and the 3rd week. So we did do a survey last year, and the surveys were overwhelmingly positive. So we were kind of going off of that, but definitely we'll do the survey again and see what the feedback is. We do encourage staff, when we had the in-service meeting, we did encourage staff to try to build in a break in their day, and you buddy up with another teacher to provide that exactly for that reason, because you need time in the middle of the day to go to the bathroom, check your mailbox, just like you say, have a minute away from the kids. So we definitely encourage the teachers to provide a recess, whatever time they chose to do it, and do that. So, but yeah, definitely we'll look at the surveys and see what the feedback is for sure. So.
And just to clarify, it's a half day, right?
Yeah. So the kids.
When you said a whole day, I'm like, I don't think it was a whole day.
Yeah, but
Okay.
3 hours.
they normally have breaks between classes, those
No.
kind of things, and they just
8:30 to 11:30 is when the class time is.
Okay.
you're
Yep.
on the whole time. So.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Next item of business is the review/approval of student handbooks, elementary and junior high schools.
Okay, here, it's the whole thing.
Turn that over to the
Just,
principals.
A couple of noted changes for the student handbook, which I'm handing you first. Most
Did
of
you
the language.
highlight the changes?
I didn't, I'm just going to tell you about them. Most of the language, just some updated language, but the only 2 policy changes in there is we updated the cell phone policy, which is on page 21. If you want to take a look at it, ultimately we updated it to do more of what we were practicing. The policy was written in a way that we really weren't carrying out the cell phone policy in that way. So I'll give you the gist of it. No cell phones in academic areas. In the hallways, you want to check your phone quick. At lunch, fine. But in academic areas, in the classroom, in the library, we don't want to hear or see cell phones. And then we put in there, what we typically will do is a student has their cell phone out in class. First time, teacher will give them a warning, hey, put your phone away. Second time, teacher will take it for the remainder of the class. Third time, it comes to the office. Anything beyond, and I keep it for the day. Anything, if we get beyond that, which happened maybe 2 or 3 times this year, I would have the student turn it into me at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they can pick it up at the end of the day for X amount of days. There's only a couple of scenarios like that this year. Any questions on the cell phone?
So before it was,
Well, before it was written, right before Nick left, so that policy was never really put into place. And that policy, the way it was written in the handbook last year, was basically you can have your phone at lunch, and that was it. And trying to police that in the hallways between classes was not really practical. Is kind of the consensus that we came to.
sure.
Before that, Chris, I'd have to punt to you, what was the policy before?
That was the policy that we're doing now is really what it was before, is they could use it during lunchtime, before and after school, and passing time they could use it. Yeah.
And I think this policy kind of teaches some responsible use too. There's a time and a place, and in the hallway when you're walking between classes, if you want to check your phone quick, that's okay. But there's also a time that needs to be put away and put on silent.
I remember when we first started having conversations about cell phones in school.
Yeah. I can remember very well the first time when I was a teacher, when the first time a phone rang in my classroom. And it was about 2003, I think. But anyway, we had gone from, the days of, completely banning phones, that's gone. It's 2022. And, so I think schools have evolved over time with what their policies are to meet, what's realistic, what's sensible. There was a time where we were viewing the phone as more of a learning tool, but now that we have one-to-one, where there truly was times in class where it would make sense to say, hey, get out your phones and do this with it. Now that we have the Chromebooks, the one-to-one devices, there really isn't a need for that. So.
And then obviously the locker rooms and bathrooms, and there's state statute that says they're not allowed in there.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they're never in there? Absolutely not. We deal with that on a fairly regular basis, but policy's there.
Okay.
And then the only other policy change was real simple. It was in there that any water had to be in a clear water bottle. Wasn't anything that we ever really carried out. So if they want to have it in a clear water bottle, they can.
So this is just high school?
This is the high school handbook.
Yeah.
Junior, senior high school. So I will entertain a motion on that one.
I move to approve junior, senior high school handbook.
I second.
It's been properly moved and second to approve the junior, senior high school handbook. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Teresa, do you have the elementary handbook?
You can reference page 30, and Mr. Melberg and I talked, and we just kind of made the policies similar, so as the kids transfer from one building to the next, it just makes sense. So water bottle,
2 staples going on your achiever.
Still no highlighter.
Nice.
it's gray
Black and white highlights, I see.
in some places. So this is a draft. You'll find some gray highlighted
Oh, there we go.
areas where I was waiting. I need some dates and different things, but the actual pieces on page 30. See, it's gray.
I saw it.
So that, and then there was some language that said something about optional use of the mobile phones. Kids in the elementary, it's not as big of a concern and issue. Not that they don't come to school, but it's more limited, so we just are able to handle it a little bit easier for that.
And they also have the one-to-one devices, so that there's no need. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I move to approve the elementary.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the elementary handbook. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is consideration of a special board meeting July 25th to adopt.
Staff.
We got L.
Oh, okay, staff handbooks, I guess is the next
This will be quick and
item
easy.
of business.
The only changes in this, not highlighted, are name changes and date changes. And because of recent retirement and resignation, those have to be updated as well. But there's no,
You might not want to print this till like the day before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's,
there's no policy change in the junior, senior high staff handbook.
Should we look at yours too, Teresa, at the same time, and then we'll...
Certainly.
then we'll-
And similar to Mr. Melberg, just updating names. We are fully staffed with our certified staff, so we're, a few days on the job.
Helping out.
Throw a little pie in his face, yep.
So no other changes.
Well, good.
and just to be clear, this, we say staff handbook, this is the building operations handbook. It's not the employment handbook. That's the, the employment handbook, their contract, so to speak. This is just the operations handbook. Maybe we should change the name of that someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it does say in your thing, building handbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does say building handbook, but.
I move to approve the staff building handbooks, the elementary and the junior, senior high.
Second?
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the elementary and junior senior high school building handbooks. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And now we can get to the consideration of a special board meeting, July 25th, to adopt preliminary 22-23 budget.
Okay, so over the historically, the preliminary budget has been presented sometime in July. The preliminary budget is the one so the board has to adopt the preliminary. Then that is the one that gets brought forward at the annual meeting at the end of August. And again, that is a preliminary. And then between August and the end of October, we get real numbers in terms of student numbers, student count. We get real numbers in terms of open enrollment, in terms of, state money and municipal money. So we don't adopt the formal final budget until the end of October. However, we need to do things appropriately. So we considered, could we adopt the preliminary budget at the August 8th meeting? But the concern was that after we adopted it, it wouldn't give us enough time, because the annual meeting is special. You have to have a certain way that you post it, and you have to actually post the preliminary budget, and it has to be for 15 days, and so that would not meet that timeline. And the reason it's not presented tonight is because I've been on the job for 4 days, and it was not realistic to have that prepared for Lori and I to have that for tonight. And so we are going to continue to work on that between now and July 25th, along with the audit that is foremost on Lori's mind right now. That's coming up on the week of the 18th too. So I actually have a meeting tomorrow to hopefully get a big start on this. So that is, I apologize for, I realized throughout the spring we've had a lot of extra meetings, with the hiring of the superintendent, hiring of the principal, some other things. So I do apologize for that, but didn't really feel like there's any other way around it. This would be the night that we'd normally, when we used to have 2 meetings, wouldn't probably be uncommon that we would maybe do it then anyway. So
Well, this meeting is going to last about 7 minutes, right?
hope so.
So if you bring a box of dilly bars in, Chris will...
Okay, okay. I'll do my best.
Is it going to be at 5:30?
Well, I think we'll do it at the same time just so there's no confusion, or just ease confusion, yeah.
And we don't have to have everyone present either, so if anybody's got something going on, speak up, and then if somebody else has just about something going on, you can speak up too.
I think just you're gone, yeah.
You just got back.
I know.
Nice.
That was a work week.
Oh.
I was gone for a week.
All right, so then let's just go ahead and have the meeting. We don't have to take any action tonight, other than agree. All right, so then the next item of business will be the superintendent notes, Mr. Christopher Peterson.
All right, so One thing I wanted to share as part of that was in the very back of your packet is a letter that we got from Kinship of Polk County, thanking us for thanking the district for the donation. So I'll just read that. Dear Mr. Ernst and board members, thank you for your continuous support of Kinship in Polk County. We received your check in the amount of $2,000. Your financial support will allow us to remain a strong asset in the Clear Lake schools. Amy Danielson is the Kinship Coordinator for the Clear Lake School District. She will work closely with the guidance staff and teachers to provide positive mentoring experiences for both the elementary and high school students in your district. Please don't hesitate to contact Amy or myself with any questions you may have. And then it's got Amy's name here as the program. Oh, it's just her contact information. Sorry, that's not a signature. And thank you again for your support of mentoring and the benefit it brings to students of all ages. And that is from Lisa Thanig, of the Executive Director of Kinship. So just wanted to pass that along. Got that letter just late last week. So nice, thanking us. And other than that, the middle of the summer here, certainly we don't have, this is kind of the lull where summer school's over. We don't have student activities going on. We have kids coming in the building. Band is kind of shut down for the month of July. We have kids coming in the building to the weight room and open gyms and things like that, but it's a quieter time. But just basically just sharing as far as the transitions going on. I've getting settled into my position and settled into the office physically, literally physically getting moved over and in. And then Mrs. Anderson getting moved into her new office at the elementary school. And I just want to note the excellent support from the district office staff, from Lori and Joy, all the department, Tom and Tom Osmond, Bo Osmond, Penny, Mona Roble helping the transition out for me and helping Teresa transition in. And then, of course, the admin team, Mr. Melberg and Mrs. Anderson. So just wanted to mention thanks for that, and lots of work to do, and lots of excitement as well. So right now, again, you can, from the meeting, a lot of focus on staffing, getting everyone settled into the new roles. We had our first, official admin team meeting today. And then, again, looking ahead the next few weeks, high priorities with completing the audit. That falls on Lori very much so. It's a lot of work for her. And then getting the preliminary budget established. And just a lot of transition documents of, changing a new person into the role that we have. So a lot of that going on. But I can say I just feel very excited, very privileged to have the opportunity to be working with everybody. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Then the next item of business that we have is the contemplated closed session in accordance with WSS 19.85, paragraph 1C. Thank you, Lori, very much. Considering employment, compensation, or performance data of any public employees over which governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Tonight we'll discuss the performance and compensation of employees. I will poll the board. Nettie?
Yes.
Skip?
Yep.
Myself, yes. Christie?
Yep.
And Matt?
Yes.
All right, we are in closed session.
Okay.
Or not.
Okay. All right, we're back to open session. Next item of business is the future agenda items. Anybody have anything they want to put on a future agenda? I think we talked about Penny in open session. We talked about community ed. Library.
The library.
Oh yeah, the library,
Sora.
Library media.
library
Yep.
media conversation. And then with that, the curriculum.
Curriculum
Yep,
media.
in classrooms.
All right, anything else? Then I will entertain a motion.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.